Greetings, I am Crystal Johnson with the Gaia Report. Please join me in welcoming a young climate adaptation scientist, Ishara Nozea. And you are a student at which school?
Joyce Kilmer Upper School.
Great, and that's in West Roxbury, Massachusetts.
Yes.
So it's my understanding, aside from loving debate and cooking, that you are a great climate adaptation scientist.
Yes.
And you participated recently in a science fair at your school.
Yes.
So what was the project that you decided to present upon?
My project was about industrial water pollution.
Okay.
And industrial water pollution is when factories dump the waste from the
wow.
plant into oceans and lakes and rivers. And this is not helping our environment because it's killing marine life that is in these bodies of water.
So when you were investigating industrial pollution of water, what was something new that you learned that you weren't quite aware of? Like, what was something that you were in awe of, that you discovered?
I was very surprised on how many corporations were participating
Yes.
in this, because I did not expect a lot of corporations to actually do this.
It is surprising that you would think they would have more responsibility. They have consumers who also are not aware of their impact that they have. So what did you discover with your water pollution as far as what we can do to help, or any types of additional facts that inspired you to say, like, wow, how can I be a change agent?
There's a lot of things we can do to help. We can start using non-toxic or less toxic waste products. So when we're finished with them, it won't go into these rivers and lakes
Yes.
and oceans.
Yes.
And we can practice conservation techniques. So we are able to be able to not put these things into our waste immediately. We can use them over again.
That's very true, and I think we were talking earlier, and I was stating that, there's a lot of focus on energy and having clean energy versus, dirty energy, and that's a really important talk. But for me, water is maybe a little bit more, because once water is polluted and that source is contaminated, the adverse impacts, the health impacts, the ecological impacts, it's worse. So energy, at least we have it, and we would like it to be renewable, but water is super critical for our health.
Yes.
So, we are also made of water. Our planet is majority water. So for us not to take that responsibility is, a quite poor decision. So what were some of the other things that you would like to highlight that you learned about water pollution that you found to be fascinating?
I found that these are the pollutants that contaminate the water.
wow.
So there are actually quite a few.
Okay.
There's asbestos, lead, mercury, nitrates, phosphates, sulfur, oils, and petrochemicals. So there's actually a lot of things that can end up in these bodies of water. And you have to check labels when
Yes.
you use things, because most of these things here are in common items that we use every day. So when you throw these things away, they're actually not going to trash, they're going inside the water.
That is very true. So you have different sources of pollution. You have definitely the industrial businesses that, through their processing of some material or some product that they're making, they have a wastewater byproduct. But then also, as we water our lawns, utilize products to wash our hands, and things go down the drain into our water system, and from the water treatment and then reintegrate it, that's also another source of contamination. So there are a lot of ways that we could take responsibility and demand it of the businesses that we are shopping at. So I want to thank you for highlighting the importance of water and how the water pollution, where it's coming from, and then what is actually coming there and what we can do. Now, from what you learned here, has it made you think about how you look at water in a different way now? How has that changed your perspective?
It does, because water is such a valuable resource, and for us to be just throwing anything in there is not acceptable.
Right. And what inspired you to choose water versus some other critical environmental issue too?
In social studies, we're learning about the Great Garbage Patch.
Oh, what's that?
That's a patch in the ocean that contains a lot of garbage.
People are so not aware of that. Please expand on that, because it's really outrageous.
People throw away their garbage, and then it ends up in landfills. Sometimes they don't have enough space in landfills.
Right.
So they throw it into the ocean, and sometimes people throw plastic into the trash instead of recycling, and this ends up trashing the ocean even more because plastic takes a very long time to deteriorate.
Right.
So it ends up becoming smaller and smaller and smaller and just making everything worse.
Amazing. So thank you so much for your
You're
critical
welcome.
thinking and explaining it, doing your project, and having it influence you to see how you are a climate adaptation scientist. And I wish you success as you move forward. And thank you. On
Thank
behalf of
you.
Mother Nature, I appreciate your great work.
Thank you.
Thank you.